Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kenny Chesney.
I don't know that in my whole life that I've ever felt so much love in a room. Thank you for that. Keith and Dean and Eric, that was beautiful. Thank you for that. I think about tonight when I think about songs and I think about the journey. That's what I think about the most, is a journey. And there's so many people a part of my journey. And Troy Tomlinson, you were the start of the journey. Well, actually, Clay Bradley was the start of the journey, and then before Clay, there was Woody Bomar, who did not sign me. And anyway, it's neither here or there, actually. So that's going to be the first thing out, isn't it? Anyway, so but when I think about the journey, I do think about Dean Dillon. Where is Dean, by the way? Thank you, Dean. And so I don't want to make this longer than it should be, but I cannot sit up here and talk about the journey without talking about my first writing experience with Dean Dillon. And I was a kid from Knoxville. Dean grew up in East Tennessee. I grew up in East Tennessee. And so Troy told me, he goes, Dean actually heard the Tin Man and he wants to write a song with you. And so I drove from my small apartment in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, into Acuff Rose that morning, and I was going to ride with the Dean Dillon. And I was very eager, and I sat down on the chair, and I pulled my guitar out of the case. Meanwhile, Dean is standing actually looking outside the window, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he's doing his chin like this. You know, and he was his mellow Dean, and here I am. This is my first writing appointment with the Dean Dillon. And I pull my guitar out of the case, and I start playing some chords, and he goes, Chesney. He goes, you're going to have to wait a minute. You have to give me time to get my mind down on your level. That's a true story. And I went, me and Dean wrote a lot of songs after that. And God bless you, Dean Dillon, for, it's just the way it started. And so I think about my journey in this town as a songwriter. And we've heard a lot of people talk about me on stage and me in front of all these people. But me on stage wouldn't be possible without my creative spirit and my creative heart. And God put a song in my heart years ago, and in my head and in my heart, and made me want to write songs. And so without that, there would be anything else. So with that, there are people to thank, like Troy. Thank you very much. You're my friend, and I love you with all my heart. Thank you so very much. I think to thank Troy would also mean to thank Jim Viano. And I love Jim Viano with all my heart. And, of course, Dale and Clint and Joe Galante and Randy Goodman. But there's just so many people in my life. Holly Gleason, thank you so much. My mother is here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. And her husband, Mark. And my girl Mary's here tonight, and in this dress we bought in Italy, and she looks really great in it. Hot, actually. So, but I think that I just feel really blessed to have had the people in my life that are in my life on the creative aspect. And being a songwriter is one of the biggest gifts in the world. And I think about that every day that I wake up. It's a part of my life that I really love. I saw Mac Davison. I don't know where he is in the room, but I love him with all my heart. Where's Mac? I love you very much, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. And Whitey Schaefer is in the room tonight also. And all these people, when I was a kid that first moved to town and I first got signed by Acuff Rose, I was going to lunch with these guys that I admired. And I was writing songs that were 6 minutes long. And it wasn't necessarily the right thing to do, but they taught me a lot. Casey, thank you very much. I love you very much. Very, very much. You know. And Rhett Akins, what's so great about Rhett is Rhett and I grew up in this business together, and we're doing shows next year where his son is playing shows with me. So, and I think that's awesome. Thank you, and I love you. And I just feel really honored to be up here tonight. BMI is such a huge part of my life. I remember the first time I came here, I was just in awe because I had all my heroes in this room, and it was all these really, really wonderful creative minds. And there's my friend Amy Mayo, who was at Brown's Diner every day. We could go and sit there and dream about this opportunity. Amy, I don't know where you are tonight, but I love you very much. And so, but this the idea of being up here in this moment is something that a kid from East Tennessee who had a song in his heart never ever thought would come to this. And I thank you. I want to thank Jody Williams. I want to thank everyone at BMI. I want to thank so many people, Dell, everybody that have meant so much. And Clay Bradley, I don't know if I mentioned Clay Bradley, but I think I did. But he let me come into his office every other week and play songs that were terrible. Just to hear one day a song that I wrote in my apartment on Murfreesboro Road called The Tin Man. And he called Troy Tomlinson and he said, "You gotta hear this song." And the rest is history. And Galani heard it in New York and signed me. And so thank you, Joe. I love you very much. Dale Morris, Clint Hyam, E.B., everybody, Kyle, Bailey, everybody at the table, both tables. I love everybody. Troy, thank you. And it just goes without saying, I love you very much. And to everyone, thank you very much for this moment. I'll never forget it. It's a highlight of my life as a songwriter. And that is the most important thing to me in the world, is being a songwriter. So thank you very much.